Alright, this is a video key for the geometry home fun for radicals. Let's get started. Number 1, the square root of 98. Now 98, we're not going to get a perfect square for that, or by perfect square I mean we're not going to get a whole number. So our final answer is going to have a rad in it, right? So 98, let's do a factor tree for 98. 98, we have 2. How many times is 2 going to 98? 4, 8, 1, 8, 9. Okay, so 2 times 49. 2 is prime, so we're going to circle it. Remember, we want our factor tree to keep on growing until all of our circled leaves are prime numbers. 49, we can keep growing with it, so I'm going to grow out with 7 times 7. Now 7 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it so we can stop growing our tree out. So inside of our house, we're going to have 2 times 7 times 7. Now the only pair we can pull out is 7 times 7. And so from that pair, we're going to have 1 7 on the outside. And so this is going to become 7 square root 2, or 7 rad 2. Alright, number 2. We want to find what the square root of 216 is. So we're going to make our factor tree. We have 2 times 108. 2 is prime, so I'm going to circle it. 108 is composite, so I'm going to keep on growing. 2 times 54. 2 is prime, 54 is not, so I'm going to keep on growing there. 6 times 9. Both of them are composite, so I'm going to keep on growing. 2 times 3. Both of those are prime, so I'm going to circle them. And 3 times 3. Both of those are also prime, so I'm going to circle those two. So inside of my house, I'm going to have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Alright, times 3. So we're going to put that inside the house. Now the ones we can pull out are, we have one pair of 2's and we have one pair of 3's. So on the outside, I'm going to have 2 times 3. And on the inside, I'm going to have 2 times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 on the inside is 6. So 6 root, or 6 rad 6 is your final answer. Okay, number 3. We want to find what rad 100 over 2 is going to be. Now if you look at your notes on the other side, what we want to do first is we want to separate these two. And so we're going to create another fraction. It's going to be rad 100 over rad 2. Okay, the square root of 100 is going to be 10, and rad 2 is going to stay rad 2. Now we don't like a radical sign as a denominator, so to get rid of it, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both the top, the numerator, and denominator by rad 2. And what we're going to get is 10 rad 2 over rad 4. Now rad 4 is going to give us 2. And as the numerator, we're going to get 10 rad 2. Now 2 can go into 10 5 times. So our final answer is going to be 5 rad 2. Number 4, we have 5 over rad 6. Again, we do not like a radical as our denominator, so we're going to get rid of it by multiplying this fraction times 1. Now, this fraction, or the number we're going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by, is going to be rad 6 over rad 6, because that is equal to 1. So 5 rad 6, we're going to multiply it both the numerator and denominator by rad 6. And we're going to end up with 5 rad 6 over rad 36. The square root of 36 is 6. 5 rad 6. And that is our final answer. Alright, the square root of 5 times the square root of 10. First step is we're going to multiply them. So the square root of 5 times 10 is going to give me the square root of 50. We want to factor it out or simplify this. So 50 is going to be 2 times 25 which is going to give us 5 times 5. 2, 5, and 5 are prime. So the square root of 2 times 5 times 5, we have one pair to pull out. So it's going to be 5 rad 2. Alright, number 6. We have 10 over rad 5. Again, we do not like a radical sign as our denominator, so we're going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by 1, or a fraction equivalent to 1, which in this case is going to be rad 5 over rad 5. So 10 times rad 5 is going to give us 10 rad 5, and rad 5 times rad 5 is going to be rad 25. Remember, the reason we cannot multiply these two is because this is a whole number or integer, and this is rad 5. So we're just going to get 10 rad 5. Whereas our denominator, both of them are rads, so we can multiply them. So rad 5 times rad 5 is going to give us rad 25. Now, the square root of 25 is going to be 5, and we're going to have 10 rad 5 as our denominator. Now, we are still not done, and the reason we're not done is because 5 can go into 10, and it can go into 10 2 whole times, and we're going to keep the rad 5. So 5 goes into 10 2 times, rad 5 behind that.